I don't know what.
Sorry. Hello and welcome to Just Chopsing Podcast. And today, as you can see, I'm not exactly on my own, but I'm with Jem Davis from the FM band. And
Hello.
how's it going, Jem?
Very good, thanks, sir. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I was just telling you that David is sick today. I
Yeah,
hope he's not going to be sick for too much longer, actually. But he's only just come down with it, so it's not looking very good.
crikey.
But yeah, I hope this one goes. I mean, I did one on my own before, and it was a bit of a disaster because the guy was in America and he lost his connection.
Right.
And then he drove around for half an hour trying to get a new one, And I tried to call the meeting off, actually, because it was just making
Right.
me more and more wound up. Because I was
Yeah,
just
yeah,
sitting here for half an hour waiting for it. I emailed his management, I emailed his agent, and I was like, look, just call it off and we'll do it again. And they're like,
yeah,
no,
yeah.
no, you'll be back on in a minute. And it was like 45 minutes late that he came back on. And I was like,
Crikey. The wonders of technology.
yeah, yeah. I mean, what it was, he was recording on his iPhone from because he was actually doing a gig. So he ran out to the tour bus because he was
Right.
doing a festival. So he said, I'll just do it from the tour bus because it's just as easy. And he did it from the tour bus, but his iPhone overheated because he was in Texas and the sun was really hot. So his iPhone shut down and it took. Because have you ever had an iPhone overheat on you?
Not in Stoke, no.
Oh no, because they do. They overheat and then they shut down and you can't get them going for ages. So,
Yeah, yeah. Oh, crikey. Yeah.
but yeah. So Jem from FM band. I mean, you joined the band in '93, but the band started in 1984, I believe.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know how they got
Uh,
their name?
sorry?
Do you know how they got their name,
Yeah,
FM band?
it's a Steely Dan track.
Oh, right, okay.
Simple as that. They love Steely Dan, and I think so the FM by Steely Dan, that they thought that'd be a good name for. Of course, it's a nightmare as a
It
band because
is.
you put FM into the internet and you just get radio stations. So that's why we're on the net. We're FM official to clarify that. And there was
Ah, right,
also
okay.
another FM in Canada as well, which confused matters for a little while. I'm not sure whether they're still going, but. No, the boys, I've known the boys a long time. I've known Merv a really long time because my first band was a band called Tobruk. We signed to EMI.
Yeah,
And Merv was playing with Diamond Head.
okay.
And we supported Diamond Head. And that's when I first met Merv. Cut a long story short, when Tobruk split up, I ended up joining UFO for a while.
Yeah,
And FM supported UFO. And that's when I met up with the boys again. And at that time, Didge had left the original keyboard player, and they were using Slim, who was the keyboard player for Romeo's Daughter. And Mo said, do you fancy it? And I knew at that time it was Phil and Pete were planning to get Michael Schenker and Paul Raymond and the old team back together. Now, I was always a fan of UFO, so I was thought, even though I'm doing myself out of a job, I thought, that sounds great.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then Bert said, would you fancy coming down and having a bash? And that was it. And so I literally left. We for the last gig with UFO, which again, it's a story in itself, was in Russia. And then I literally went straight to rehearsals with FM and I've been doing it ever since.
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
was going to ask you about that. I mean, leaving UFO, I mean, when did you leave UFO? 92, 93 then?
Yes, it was a big end of 92, 93. And yeah, like I say, what we did a gig. It was in Paris actually, with when FM supported us, and that's when Merv sort of like said, "Look, well, when it's come, if it does come to an end or whatever, give me a
Yeah,
call."
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah,
But
because I was going to say, then you left UFO to join FM band, and then FM band broke up in 95.
well, yeah, it was a bit. I think we just kind of we didn't break up. We just kind of like took a long hiatus, if you like,
Yeah, yeah.
because it's with the type of music that we play and whatever. It's there was a lot of grunge and all that going off, and we just thought, it's probably best just to lay low for a little while. And see how it all goes. And we were still mates and still seeing each other. And what happened was we were in splinter bands in from then on. It's about '96. We were in splinter bands, and then we kept getting offered the Farfest in Nottingham and turning it down and that. So shall we go for it, And then in 2007 we did, and then we haven't looked back. We were just
Yeah, yeah.
blown away by the response. It was quite funny in that intermediate time. I'd got married, and my missus didn't realise what I did for a living, because
Okay.
we'd never seen it. And then we got people coming over from Brazil and all these different places. And she's saying, "The hell are they?" Because they were coming up and asking for my autograph and all that. So, but he just sits at home and drinks rosé wine and watches Neighbours, So, yeah. Thank you, James. Just coming with the refreshments. Yes.
Oh, there you go.
So. And after that, Jim joined the band, and off we went, and it's just steadily grown and grown and grown, and we're loving it. So we're actually in the process now. We're off to France. God knows what that's going to be like with with all the traveling and all that, but looking forward to getting back in the swing of it again. It's slowly opening up, but.
I don't think it's too bad getting out of the UK. I think getting back in is the problem.
Well, yeah.
So,
but they change the rules all the time, you see. So we shall see. We've got 2 gigs in France, and then we're back. We've got a couple of gigs in Belgium and Holland towards the end of the year, and then next year we just try to fill the diary as every other band has,
Yeah.
All we kept doing, we kept booking these gigs in and moving them on, So, because of course everybody wants to get out there now, but it's all changed. The landscape's changed. The venues have gone. Some of the fantastic venues that we used to play have just gone under. Others has stayed afloat. But then it's crew, and are they still there? And transportation, and all these different things. And so we'll find out.
It's pretty tough. Huh?
Yeah.
Because, the World and his wife actually came out as soon as the lockdown restrictions were lifted. It seemed to me like nearly every band wanted to get out on tour. You had the Wagons on tour,
yeah.
Crows are on tour, Wild Arts are on tour. Everyone's on tour at the same time now, so it's a bit crazy.
Well, that is the problem as well, So, we did our first gig. We played which is always a fantastic gig, the Derby Rock and Blues Festival, which is 5,000 people, and it went down a storm, and it was just a joy to. What I find now is to go out and everyone's like so happy to be at work and
Yeah, well, most people are.
It's the people that work on the Camden Market, things like that. That won't last long.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it's great to, and it's amazing. We hadn't played together for 16 months and we got into the rehearsal room and it just got together like that. It's amazing now that you would just retain it and that, and we can't wait to get out. We enjoy. That's what just enjoy playing. And I really miss that.
Yeah. Well, I saw on your Instagram that you're playing because I'm in Holland.
Right.
And
come see us. I can't remember where we're playing, but
you're playing in the Cacao Fabric, which is right around the corner from me.
Oh, excellent, man! Yeah, come on.
Yeah, it's on the 19th of November. So.
Oh right, brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to try and get over and have a beer with you. So.
Yeah, absolutely, Pat. Absolutely, yeah. Brilliant.
So, I don't mind paying for my ticket, but
I'm sure you're getting.
Man. I don't expect anything for free, but as long as you have a beer with me, that's cool.
Oh yeah, no, you're more than welcome. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that'll be a giggle,
Yeah. It should be a good gig actually. Oh, you're gone. Your iPad's run out.
Yeah, that's all right. Somebody else trying to get in.
It's quite a nice venue actually. It's nice. It's not really massive, Right. I don't really know how many they're going to let in with the COVID restrictions going on.
Well, that's the weird thing. We got this festival in France in 2 weeks' time, and it's a week on Saturday, and it's for 300 people. And it's a massive venue, I think, but it's all COVID restrictions and socially distance and whatever,
Yeah.
We'll have a blast,
Yeah. I went to one a few weeks ago. It was quite a small venue, but the gig was sold out, but it was not that many people in there, to be honest.
Right.
Because everything's tables, you've got to have a standing table.
Well, we're finding that. Even at Derby and, and obviously I've been doing some gigs with Jim's band and all that, and people just don't know how they should behave. Everyone's finding their feet band-wise and audience-wise and that. And we're slowly getting back there,
Yeah,
but it is annoying, you see all these sporting events and everyone's all packed in, and yet we weren't allowed to do any gigs and all that. But hopefully it's going past that now, so.
Yeah. Well, you should be used to having the rest anyway. Since you had 12 years off.
all right. we didn't stop then, we just regrouped, if you like,
Yeah. What were you
But
doing in between then? In between the times?
I was playing in doing a lot of different stuff, doing some session work as well as playing in other bands and whatever, and just ticking over, really, and yeah, it was just a case of that. But I was so pleased when we did decide to sort of like push the button again, and the punters they're all there for us, which was just great, and the band's just gone from strength to strength,
Yeah.
Sadly, we lost. We had a dear friend of mine, Steve Strange, who was X-Ray.
Yeah.
It's funny, the story there, and I put this up on Facebook. I played in a band called Midnight Blue with Dougie White he's sang with Rainbow and he's Schenker and all that.
Yeah.
So Dougs was in the band, and we were the house band at the Marquee. And Steve, who was a drummer with No Hot Ashes then, it was just another drunken, and so we had that, we all went away. 20 years later, we were playing in Belfast, and the manager at the time, Adrian, said, I've got this guy coming in, I'd be really nice to him. He's one of the biggest managers in the world, which he was looking after Coldplay, And strangely walks around the corner. I went, well, I know you. And it gave him a big hug and all that. And he was just an FM fan, and he always used to, because his band used to tour with us quite regularly, but he would come in on our bus, he just loved the stories and all that, and was just really passionate about FM, and it was just a hell of a shock because I didn't know, not many people knew that he was ill and that, and I certainly didn't. And there's a famous journalist, Dave Ling, put it on his Facebook, and I thought, this is at midnight. I thought, that can't be right because I'm on the blower. And he bloody well was, and he was only 53.
Yeah. I saw it. Yeah, because I know Toby put a post up really quickly as well.
And with him and that, and he was a. But the best thing about Steve is he loved his music, so people loved him, and the amount of love that's come out on Facebook is just fantastic. So we'll miss him massively because he got us these incredible gigs. We were on tour with like Kiss and Journey and Foreigner, and and that's all down to Strange. He's it's it's very, very sad, But
I mean, like you said, I mean, it seemed a bit like was he really ill, or because it said when Toby put a post up, it said he had a short illness, so
it was short. Yeah, well, so we zoomed him, last year for his birthday, and obviously he was absolutely fine then. He didn't know anything about it, to my knowledge, And I think it did all happen really quickly, which is a kind of a blessing, I guess, in a way, But it was a shock for all of us, you just don't feel like he's had to say goodbye, That was the worst thing, And he wanted to keep it quiet from his daughter, apparently, which is absolutely fair enough, So I think they're going to have services in LA because he had a place in LA, Belfast, and London, and we'll go to the London one, But it just makes you realise that life's too short, so you just got to go out there and make the most of it, So and that's what we're doing.
I don't blame you, man. I mean, life is
gigging everywhere we possibly can and flying the flag for Stevie, So
that's good, like you say, he was passionate about his music, and I mean, I didn't really know him, so I mean, I had a few email dealings with him a long time ago, but. He obviously was passionate about his music, and
he was a force of nature for sure. You could hear him; he had this hell of a laugh and all that, So, but like I say, I mean, we did some amazing gigs. I mean, we did like for near you, Grass Pop and all that, which I love. I love that festival. Really well organised and that. And we were obviously the last time we did it was with Kiss, and Whitesnake and people like that. And it was just it was a joy to play. Fantastic.
Grass Pop's in Belgium, I think.
Oh, Belgium, is that? Sorry.
Yeah. Boss Pop, you played? Did you play Boss Pop?
Too. Yeah,
that's that's where I was a few weeks ago, down around that area.
I mean, the funny thing is we even did Hellfest, and you're thinking, I mean, when actually with Grass Pop, when Motorhead was still going, and Motorhead were like, take that compared to some of the bands that were on, and we're thinking, we're going to die. But the best thing about the Europeans is they just want good music. And so long as you can play, and of course we've got Steve, who's an amazing singer and all that, they love it, absolutely love it, and that, you know, it was, so I guess it was just a bit of a breather before the real death metal kicks in again, you know, and that's it. And I love that about the Europeans. They don't, you know, they don't think, well, I like this type of music, so therefore I don't like you. They just, you know, it's an open book, really.
Yeah.
Kind of leads me nicely on to me Pepperkid 2, actually.
Tell you what,
to Pepperkid 2. So during lockdown, I was writing, you know, I moved to a new place up north, about an hour up north, and it came with a ready-made studio. And obviously with lockdown and that, I was able to focus on the music. And I was just writing like crazy for FM and all that. And then, but I was writing stuff that I love, all sorts of music, you know. And I thought, well, I don't want to limit myself on just that. So I was just writing away and seeing what happened, you know. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to do my own solo thing, you know, which is a hell of a leap, you know. But I got Steve involved and Jim singing on 2 tracks. But the main vocalist is an incredible guy called Mike Dyer, who sings with Grandson.
Okay.
And so I've been working with Mike to do the majority of the vocals on that. And I've got a single coming out on Friday called After the Rain, and that features Lawrence, who I play with in UFO, and he's also in Grandslam. So that's the heavier side of my thing. So it's quite a heavy track, you know.
Yeah.
But the album, I'm calling it genre fluid, right? Because it's not, you know, there's something for everyone, right? Because it's not. So I mean, I'm a big Floyd fan, and there's a lot of Floydy sort of stuff on it, and you know, like bands like Jellyfish and even Beatles or in that, you know.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, I just wanted to throw the rule book out the window. I mean, when you think about it, porno graffiti extreme. You know, you had get the funk out, but then you had more than words. And there's a song there. When I First Kissed You, I think it's called. It sounds like Frank Sinatra. Yeah, it's a bizarre album, but that was me president. I thought, well, it's been done. You know, so they didn't have any particular rules to stick to, and so I just went for it, really. You know, and we shall see. I've got no intentions of building a band around or anything like that. You know, it would just. But I want to keep it ticking over in the background. You know, it's a nice release of getting. Some stuff out there that isn't normally, you know, wouldn't be considered for FM, if you like, you know.
Yeah. When's that coming out? Friday?
The single's out on Friday. It's called After the Rain. And the video release. And then the album is it's called Adventures in Pepperland.
Okay.
It's under the guise of Pepperkid 2. So
Pepperkid 2.
That's me.
Is that like Peppa Pig or Peppa the...
Yeah, well, I know. That's what I would say. What it is, Tony, is that I've always done this, right? I've covered my food with pepper, big time, right?
Yeah.
To the point where people say, "Come and have a look at this," you know, and it's annoying me. It's something I've just done. It's just, you know, it's not like I like hot food. I just like a lot of pepper on my food, you know. And so that's where the Pepperkid came from. There was never a Pepperkid 1. I didn't kill him off and bring in number 2. So. You know, and again, it's nothing to do with Sergeant Pepper or anything like that. That was just people used to call me Pepperkid, you know. So I thought, rather than put Jem Davis, I wanted Pepperkid 2 could be like so that it's like a project. So that means I can bring in other people because I don't sing, you know. But I programmed, done the guitars and drums and the whole works on this.
Okay.
Brought in some, you know, I've got Jim to play guitar. I've got a brilliant guitarist called Nigel Spennuin, who worked with Joe Cocker and people like that to do the majority of the solos. But with this one song, After the Rain, I really wanted I wanted to work with Lawrence, and he's done an absolute blinder of a solo, you know. But I sent him another song before, and he was he said he lives in Spain actually, so it's a bit wild. And I thought, you know what, it's my bloody album. So I ended up doing like a Wakeman kind of solo on it. I'll play on it, you know, because I'm not, you know, the standard thing in the band is always the singer and then the guitar.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And the keyboard player is always in the background somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm used to that, and that's fine. It suits me most of the time. Although anyone that comes to see an FM show will know that I come out with the front with the guitar, and that's a love-hate thing, you know.
Yeah.
And I don't. and then I play a bit of harmonica as well with the FM boys, which is
okay.
great. So I come out the front with that,
Yeah, yeah.
But, yeah. So exciting times, really.
Yeah. And you've got Synchronized then, which you released in 2020 with an FM band. I mean, finally you can get out and tour it then.
We're going to do, but we've already got the next album in the bag as well,
Okay.
So we haven't been hanging about at all and that's what I've like, because as a muso, you think, oh, I love to have him in a studio. Then will you use it? Well, so I was in there a couple of months, and I brought when we could, the boys came up. And they absolutely loved it. It's not big enough to do drums in, but we did everything else, and so we've just been writing like crazy, all of us,
Yeah.
So and that's the plan. To just keep writing and just get things in the bag, because we just thought, look, this. Let's make the most of this time, because then once they push the button and we can get out there, we'll gig,
Yeah.
So that's what we did. And Paul from Gun kindly let Pete go up and do all the drums up in Scotland in Gun studio. So we've already got the next album, FM album, in the bag. It won't be out till next year.
Yeah.
So that's great. But then we need to be working on the next one, you see.
Yeah.
And then in the meantime, we also had the Tough It Out came out, live, and we were working on that too. But it's a shame that we always feel, we weren't allowed to. We were just about to go out with Synchronized, and then the rug gets pulled,
Yeah.
as with a lot of bands,
Yeah.
And it's soul destroying, really, But there's nothing you can do about it,
Yeah.
So,
I spoke to those Damn Crows, and we were talking about the same sort of thing. They released their second album in 2020, I believe, and then now they're already working on their third album also. So when they've been on tour, but they feel like the second album is old songs already,
Yes,
even though nobody's hear them live.
Yeah,
and that's
exactly.
the problem.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I suppose that's a problem you got as well.
Well, it is. Yeah, we kind of moved on already, but then the punters want us to hear, they want to hear those songs, what we do love. So to be honest, we're not, so we need to work them up. We pick about 2 or 3 out of that. I mean, the trouble, it's a nice problem to have, is that FM's got so much back material, back catalog, that what do you do? And you're always going to annoy somebody that you haven't done that, and you've got to kick your favourite out in order to wedge it all in. But you want to try and keep it fresh, even for your own sanity, if not anything else,
Yeah.
So, but that's great. I mean, it's a nice position to be in, And we will get some Synchronized in the set for the next leg of the tour, and then and just keep moving forward,
Yeah. I mean, I guess, since you've been back together then in 2007, I mean, this incarnation of the lineup is obviously the most stable, and I mean, you've been your most productive since 2007.
Solid. I mean, Jim's been. Well, I've been in the band now, I guess 25 years, is it?
Yeah.
And it's great. I mean, Didge comes along. We bring Didge into when we did the Tough It Out, and he gets up on stage, and it's just great. I mean, we're desperately trying to get Chris, Steve's brother, to get, but he won't. that's another story, that. And it would be nice, I think, especially for the fans, to see him up there and that. But it's nice. FM's like a little family, and very, very tight, And what you see is what you get. I mean, we do generally have fun when we're playing on stage, and we're very close off the stage or whatever. It's not an act or anything like that. We can't be bothered with we're all get to a certain age where egos, and you just want to get on with it. It can't be doing with all the petty. Well, it's me. I mean, if anybody should have an ego, it should be Steve, because with a voice like that. But he's fantastic.
Yeah, so, that's the thing. Everybody gets a bit long in the tooth, really, and as you get older, it's like you just can't be bothered with all that.
No, but that said, I mean, I'm it's funny we were talking about this, because I'm quite happy still getting the back of a transit thing.
Yeah.
I've still got that passion for it, because I just enjoy playing live.
Yeah.
There's nothing like it, and it's what we enjoy the most. So it's great having the studio stuff and whatever, but we just want to get out there and play it to people, and it's the reaction you get back that keeps you going.
Yeah.
It was a hell of a. Obviously hit everybody that you weren't getting that, so you can do as many flipping online stuff as you like playing it, but it's pointless because you're not getting the feedback.
Yeah.
So we didn't really go down that route much, because so people soon got tired of watch because they can watch YouTube or whatever, and I think that's what they're enjoying now. They're enjoying going out and seeing live music, which is great. So
Yeah. Okay. So how are you getting over here then? Have you got like a
yeah, we're getting I mean, that's another tale in itself. It's hard work because it's to get the right transport, and they're all like splitter buses like hen's
yeah.
teeth. So we're doing it quite small scale initially, and just testing the water, So we'll just jump on the train and drive over, get on the train, drive to these first two gigs, and also for the Holland gigs and Belgium, and then just see how it goes. Of course, then it's Brexit to deal with, which is forget COVID.
Yeah.
Brexit's the one that's is a killer, and but they keep changing the rules all the time. See, and everybody is watching everybody else, saying, "Well, what's going on now?"
Yeah.
I think there's a few people out, so we'll see.
Yeah.
Because we regularly gig in Spain. Well, now you've got to pay for visas and things like that, and they just that's a whole nother ball game. I won't get political because I'm not political, but it's frustrating when we had the freedom to go and do what we wanted to do, and of course I'm not that old, but I do remember people saying in the old days of where you had to cross over the borders and you gave the guards like an album and a T-shirt, and you had to get Point Charlie, and you had to get from A to B in a certain amount of time, otherwise you're in trouble, and this, that, and the other. I don't think we'll go back to that, but
no, I don't. Well, I don't. You never know, do you? For the, I mean, like I said, I'm in Holland, so I'm pretty much okay. But I don't know about going back.
Yeah.
But see my family and that. But I mean, yeah.
Well, the change rules every day, matey. So who knows?
Yeah. I didn't think you needed a visa though to come out of the UK if you were going less than 90 days.
No, for most countries, but I think if you want to play in Spain at the moment, I think that's the deal. But I'm not sure.
Okay, yeah, no, I read some stuff. It wasn't a visa. What was it? Yeah, it was something I can't remember what it's called now. But it was something just to say that you had musical instruments and you were taking them in and out of the country, so you didn't have to pay tax every time.
To say, funny enough, that's exactly what I've been doing today. I've been doing that because I'm kind of like, we all have our little jobs in FM, and I'm mainly Mr. Transport as well. So I've been trying to sort out the carnet. You need a carnet now, and that lasts a year.
Yeah, that's it, a carnet. Yeah, that's what it is.
So we tried to take as little as possible out, because 2 years ago we played in Barcelona, and admittedly we hired a load of gear. Normally what we do is we fly in, we hire a load of gear and just do the gig. But we do carry, like the boys take the guitars, and I took my MacBook Pro and that. And we literally were in Barcelona. We pulled over, went to a bar for a quick pint, literally a pint, 20 minutes, came back, and we've been robbed. And they took everything. Well, I say everything. The only thing they didn't take, we had 2 Fender Strats in a big case, which they couldn't physically get over the top of the back of this seat of this minibus. So they left that. Excuse me. It's funny enough, I don't know why they didn't open up and take the guitars out, but...
I'll drink your beer.
Yeah, I think I will. But, excuse me, a little break there. Yeah. So, but it was that was a nightmare, man. All we were left, we had to do the gig. And all we were left with, I just had a pair of shorts, a vest, and one credit card that I'd used to pay for the parking, But the Spanish police didn't want to know, or Barcelona, I should say. It's a bit isolated there. So we had hired gear. So thank God, I was able to program, because all my sounds and everything I have on USB sticks, they got robbed, and our passports and everything. So I had to desperately, quickly program up a Cronus and a Nord and whatever, and get as many sounds as I could to get through the gig. And we did it, and we stormed it, but it was tainted with the fact that, he robbed, and apparently 3 other bands got robbed on that same day,
Oh, right.
And then we had to leave because we had another gig in Madrid to do, and then from there, so we had to get that done before we could actually get things sorted. Now we managed to get down the consulate and all that, and get back, but man, it's a nightmare. But it does make you realise there are just things, and
Yeah,
thank God
yeah.
we're musicians and we can play. I don't rely on technology. It's lovely to have, but thank God, I mainly specialise in Hammond and all that,
Yeah, yeah.
So if needs must, we got through the gig. So we don't rely on sequences and all that. We have them and we use them as a tool.
Yeah.
But we can do if you can do the gig stripped down. That's the whole point of
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
So it's great,
Yeah. So what are you doing when you come over here? Have you got a hotel or?
I think we have. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've Merv's brilliant. He'll find the latest hotel. But I think he's so on it. He's found a hotel that hasn't even been built yet. I think he gets built. I'm not sure whether we're staying there now because they kept moving the opening day. So I think it actually opens on the Thursday before we arrive on the Saturday. So we might have to find another one because we're not sure whether that's actually going to be finished built yet.
Oh, where's that then? Is that in Helmond or?
I have no idea. Again, see Mr. Transport, then I'll leave all the things to Merv to
Yeah,
he does
yeah.
the hotels.
Well, get him to email me if you like, and then.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I will.
Because like I said, the venue is like 5 minutes drive away from my house.
Oh right. Oh
and
I will do.
And the main town then is on the other side, if you like. You've got the venue here, and then on the other side of the train track is the town centre.
Right.
So, I mean, and then if you've got a hotel anywhere around there, I'm not sure, because I'm not sure what's going on at the moment.
Well, yeah.
A restaurant got blown up there last night.
I'll have a look tomorrow, because obviously I'm not at home at the moment. So, yeah, I'll have a look, and then I'll drop you a mail and let you know.
Yeah, let me know, because you can always, like, if you're worried about your van or whatever, and you're staying in a hotel in the town, you can leave your van outside my house,
Cool. Okay. Cheers.
That's no problem. Yeah, just come over and when you get here, just come over and have a beer or something.
Yeah, I will. You will.
No
Don't worry about it. Yeah.
Yeah, my missus like that. I expect. But
you see, the classic thing with FM before I joined them was that they were in a really bad bus crash. They just finished in I think it was Amsterdam or so. Last gig was there, and they were driving back, and the bus driver fell asleep.
Oof.
And they were, thank God it was the last gig, so they were all in the lounge in the back of this tour bus, getting hammered and whatever. And next thing you know, they're in a ditch and they're out. They had to bail out. They're standing on a snowy motorway in their underpants, thinking what the hell went on. So that's why we tend to do it ourselves now and drive ourselves and all that.
Yeah.
And we don't do the big old tour buses if we can help it, and you can understand that. I wasn't with them at the time, but that must have been scary,
Yeah.
So yeah.
So, what's your best moments you've had in the band then?
What's the what?
What's the best moments that you've had
in
FM?
Oh man, there's been so many. Just coming up to the, the first one I think that was a real thing is when Rant were meant to play Donington, and the drummer I think got arrested for drink driving the day before, and we known the guys the run Donington and all that. So his name was Andy. Just contacted us, so look, do you fancy doing it? And so second band on the big stage, and it was during the day, mega hot day. And there was about 50,000 people there, and it was just fantastic. And we just went down the storm and loved that. That was great. And then, but the last, what was it, 2019, I'm guessing, was when we were doing all the Hellfest and all that over in Europe with Kiss and all that. That, again, was just brilliant. The crowds and everything. I just love playing live,
Yeah.
But we always have a laugh no matter what's going on anyway,
Yeah.
So,
well, that's the main thing, as long as you're enjoying it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, then I think when it stops it being enjoyable is when we'll hang up the boots. But no, it's all good fun.
Yeah. Oh, that's good news, man. Well, I got a bit of a story here. I found a story today. It's a bit of a weird one, actually. It's about this ninja. It's a guy who was dressed up as a ninja and he had a big sword, right?
Right.
And he assailed the U.S. Army Special Operations Unit in California. Now, these special operations units are a bit like the SAS,
Right.
And this guy wearing a ninja costume, he walked up to this sergeant in the middle of the night on this army camp. And he said, "Oh, do you know who I am?" and obviously the sergeant didn't know who he was. He wasn't Ronnie Pickering or anybody, you know. And he said, "Oh, do you know who I am?" And this guy said, "Oh no, I don't know who you are." He said, "Oh, do you know who my family are?" And he said, "No, I don't know where your family are." So this ninja started swinging his sword at him and cut him up. It said
Wow.
cut him, and then it hit his mobile phone. So obviously the sergeant was going to try and ring for somebody.
Right.
But then the sergeant ran off. Actually, you know, I mean, he's on a military base with this ninja swinging a sword at him, so he runs off, right? Runs to a building where there's a load of other special ops American soldiers in there, and they lock themselves in and dial 911.
Who's your call? You know what I mean?
Yeah, so it's like, well,
Yeah.
if you're special ops and you're actually on a military base, you know, surely you
Yeah.
could deal with some nutter with
Yeah.
a sword, like,
Exactly. You know.
you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
But they
Well,
phoned the police, and then the police came along and tried to arrest him. But then he started swinging at the police as well,
right.
and they fired a few shots in the air, you know, where they got guns in America. So the guy ran off, and then as he was running off, I mean, obviously they didn't shoot him, but then one of the other coppers, because you know what these American police like, they pull up with about 19 cop cars. So this guy is actually running off. He drops his sword, and then another copper tases him. So he managed to
I
get.
mean, it's like there's a scene in there with Indiana Jones where the guy does all the flashy knives and he just goes bang and
Yeah,
shoots.
yeah.
I mean,
So,
I am amazed that they didn't shoot it. You know, in this
yeah,
day.
yeah,
But there you go. Yeah.
yeah.
He did the
So
right thing. So yeah.
yeah, so this guy he's got arrested for attempted homicide, assault with a deadly weapon, brandishing a weapon, brandishing a weapon with the intent to resist or prevent arrest, vandalism, obstructing or delaying a police officer in the performance of their duties. So he's been arrested with quite a long list of charges,
Wow.
you know. But these guys, these special ops guys, you know, they,
You should have the moves. You know.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
crazy. Just ran off and.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, it's a bit of a story.
It
I
is.
was like, what? What's going on here? There's special ops guys running away from a ninja.
Yeah. Well, brave Sir Robin ran away. You know. Yeah. Flipping heck.
So yeah.
I was
Oh.
glued to all of that. I've got to say, I was watching the when Trumpy was in, you know, and what was happening on the 6th and all that. It was, you know, just I couldn't believe it. It was just, you know, as much as I didn't like the guy, now he's gone. It's a bit quiet on the Western Front.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. Oh, was that when they stormed the White House and everything?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not this
Yeah.
one.
You know, and whether that has any repercussions. I mean, I love America. The thing is, you know, we actually we were in LA when just before COVID hit. We were meant to be going over to Australia and some gigs over there. And it turns out the guy, I don't know what was going on. It just smelled a bit iffy, and we thought, you know, I think they wanted us to actually fly from LA to the gig, which is a 16-hour flight, and then within 2 hours get on stage. Well, that ain't going to happen.
Yeah.
It's not right. So, and what was meant to be like a 3-day festival ended up being a 1-day festival. I thought this isn't right, you know.
Yeah.
So we ended up coming back, and then about 5 days later, COVID hit, and that was it, lockdown, you know. So, but we managed to do. We went to Vegas, as you do. We went to Vegas and did a couple of videos, and again, the boys from the Choir Boys were there.
Oh right, yeah.
With friends of ours, and that. So they joined us when we went to Old Time Vegas down Fremont Street, you know.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was good fun, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Did you see the boxing that was on the weekend?
No, I missed it, and I love me boxing, you know. So I need to catch up on that, you know.
Yeah.
The boys saw it and they reckon it was fantastic, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I only brought it up because it was in Vegas, but.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know who won then?
Yeah.
No, that's okay. I didn't want to spoil it for you.
Oh no, don't worry about that. Yeah. But no, I couldn't be bothered to stay up, to be honest, Terry. So yeah.
No,
But,
I didn't watch it live. I watched it in the morning on YouTube.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
You know, I can't stay up till 6 o'clock in the morning anymore. Those days are gone for me.
Yeah. But have you been to Vegas? Or?
Yeah. I went for my 40th.
Right.
And my brother bought me tickets.
You know, I love it.
Yeah. My brother bought me tickets to see Tom Jones in the MGM Grand.
Oh, fantastic.
So
Yeah.
for my 40th birthday. So what we were doing, we were staying in San Francisco. Um, we decided to do like a 24-hour trip to Vegas.
Right.
So I went with some friends and that. So we flew from San Francisco to Vegas. Did like a mad 24 hours in Vegas. Saw Tom Jones in the MGM Grand, and then flew back to San Francisco after
Wow.
24 hours.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, that was a bit of an adventure, you know.
See, I first went there in 2002. Some friends were getting married, and I thought, I'm going to hate this place. I thought it's going to be like Blackpool on acid, you know.
Yeah,
And the best 3 days, mate. I didn't want to go to bed, and
yeah.
we had the best time. And it's all about the hotels. And I've been back about 9 or 10 times now, just on, for holidays, whatever. I took the kids there. Took the kids there in 2009. We went to Vegas, and then I wanted to take them to the proper Disneyland, like the original 1950s. They like Vegas better than they did Disneyland. It's like, what?
Yeah.
So, it's, but it's not everybody's cup of tea, and I appreciate that, But, but we're gagging to go back there, and that. We did have a laugh doing it, and driving through the desert and all that malarkey is fantastic, the scenery, So I like Little Town America. I mean, I try to go to I spent a lot of holidays in Florida and that, on the not on the East Coast, go to the West Coast where it's quiet and all that, and it's just a joy, But it's not everybody's cup of tea, but
yeah. Have you been to San Fran?
No, I'd love to go.
It's really nice. I mean, it's going back. I don't know. How old am I now? 15 years ago. So
right.
Yeah, but that was a really nice place. It's very European though.
Is it?
Oh. Yeah. It's very.
Well, the weird thing for me was going back to New York. I was there in '91, and it was a dangerous place. It was guns going off and all sorts of stuff. And then to go back there and take the kids there, like I said, and feel safe, because it wasn't a safe place in the '90s, in the early '90s, But and then obviously now, it's a different vibe completely again with the Twin Towers and all that malarkey. But it's a movie set, because everywhere you've seen it on the telly, So,
San Francisco's the same. You got the Hate.
Yeah,
we call it the Hate, and then obviously you've got like the big big trams that come down the big hill.
Right.
That's all. Like you see all that in the movies. It's great, and Chinatown is fantastic. So it's cool, man. Brilliant. I really enjoyed it.
Well, see, I can't wait to get out. I mean, that's one of the reasons why it was great to be in a band. To go to Japan, for instance, and. First time I went to Japan was with the Mantis Boys playing Mantis, and that was a giggle and a half, unbelievable. And we went to Tokyo, Nagoya, and Osaka the first time. And then I went back again with UFO, same places, sort of thing. But again, it's just a different way of life and all that, And they love their music out there, which is great,
I was just going to say they like their rock music.
Yeah, I must admit, I was gutted that we didn't do the Australian thing. I'm really desperate to get it out to Australia, But hopefully, we get there next year.
Yeah. Well, if the world opens up a little bit more, then
and it will. I mean, you're just going to learn to live with this thing. It's like I know, guaranteed, we're going to get hit with the flu and COVID this winter because it's just the same kind of a vibe, really. And but we just got to. Now people have been, or some people have had the jab. I mean, I don't sit on any fence on that. If you want to have the jab, if you don't have a jab, it's your prerogative.
Yeah.
I feel as a musician, we kind of have to, and I'll do whatever it takes so we can get out there.
Yeah, a lot of musicians say the same thing, to be honest.
Yeah, because whatever it takes really to get out and play again. It's just like going to some of these countries. You have to have the jab anyway. So. We'll hopefully, fingers crossed that.
Unless you're right, said Fred, I think they want to stay at home all day.
Well, yeah, exactly. And go mad. But lucky enough, I didn't go mad. I'm mad already. So yeah.
I mean, them boys, I don't know what they're up to. We've had them on the show, and they said, because I follow them on Twitter, the Right Said Fred boys. And they were really active on Twitter. Well, they're still really active on Twitter because they seem to be in all these rallies and stuff about being anti-vax. And But when we got them on the show, they said they weren't actually anti-vax. They would just wanted to wait a while until the trials came through, you know.
That's fair enough. Yeah.
So yeah, that's fine. But then on Twitter, they are just totally anti-vax. You can't. It's like
Yeah.
where are you sitting like?
Yeah, exactly.
But,
I'm
yeah.
not getting any of that, and it's funny because I sit on Facebook. I just look and see it all go off, and I try not to comment on it. I've got my opinions, but I'm quite private. I like to keep it all to myself, really, and that. But it just makes me chuckle at sometimes a counter argument or whatever, And,
Yeah, I mean,
let them get on with it. So, and I think, look, you're perfectly. That's your right. If that's how you feel, then that's absolutely fine.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we discussed it. I mean, I discussed it quite a lot, really. I mean, I'm not pro-vax and I'm not anti-vax, even though I've been vaccinated. I mean, I caught COVID about 5 months ago,
Right.
and I was really, really ill. And because I was on the same sort of fence, I didn't really want to take the vaccination because I wanted to wait and see what the effects were, blah, 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 blah. But then I caught COVID, and I was so ill, and I wouldn't want to wish it on my worst enemy, to be honest.
See, and that was it for me. There was a couple of close friends that lived in a town called Bedford, and this guy, bless him, he was only a year older than me, and he suffered from diabetes and asthma, and he said, "This will do me." In 6 weeks, he was gone. He got him, and it just, that's one thing that does annoy me when people says, "Oh, it's a fake disease," and all this, and it's conspiracy. Well, for the whole flipping world, and when you've and there's a lot of people out there that they get COVID and they're still struggling to breathe and whatever.
Yeah.
So no, it's a real thing, and it's yeah. So,
well, I'm still struggling myself. I mean, I lost all my strength. All my strength in my legs went totally. Because I still do physio now 2 times a week.
right.
I'm only working like 15% because I get tired really quickly. And I mean, this is like 5 months now, I think, 4 or 5 months. And I went to see a specialist last week, and he said, because I was always active before, I would go to the gym and do some training and stuff.
Yeah.
And because my immune system was really good, the doctor at the hospital said that the better your immune system is going to be, the worse it's going to hit you, really.
Yeah.
So then, because the way your immune system works, it just wants to kill that virus dead, and the virus is so strong that it fights back, and then it makes you really ill. But then last week I saw a specialist, and he said I probably went back to work 2 months too early, and if I hadn't gone back so soon, I probably would have been more further in my recovery now,
Right.
because because I was so fit and active before, I'm trying to push myself all the time because I'm in unknown territory, if you like.
Yeah.
Being so tired all the time, so I'm standing in the way of my own recovery.
Yeah.
I'm trying to push myself, but I shouldn't be pushing myself. I should be holding myself.
Well, that's
back.
that. You see, because that's and that's my mum used to be like that. I just see illness as an annoyance.
Yeah, me too.
And I get out. But I think so. When I had the jab the first time, it knocked me for 6, and I was in bed. And I don't do that. I don't. I'm usually up and about. Straight away. So, and I was told that's because my immune system is pretty good. So it's fighting big time. But it's just something that
Yeah. I mean, like I said, after, I mean, after I had it, then I had to have I had my injection because I was already booked in for my injection, but I caught it before I had my injection.
Yeah.
And then I had my injection, and I was ill again, and I thought I'd caught it again. To be honest, I was so rough for 3 or 4 days. So there's some, I said my co-host is my cousin. And I texted him. I said, "Oh, I've caught it again. I'm really ill. And I've just had the injection, Yeah. And like I said, it's I don't care what you do, but we had the Deering boys on last week. I think it was last week or the week before. I was speaking to Peter Cunner and Al Mackenzie from Deering.
Oh right.
And we were discussing this COVID passport thing. I mean, for people our age, it's not a fucking COVID passport.
No.
All it is a vaccination stamp on your vaccination card.
Exactly. Yeah.
But all this younger generation are like, "Oh, you're taking away my freedom with this COVID passport," and it's like, oh man.
It just made me laugh all that because then I don't want a thing they're putting. No, the other thing was having a microchip.
Oh, a microchip, yeah.
I don't want them knowing exactly where I'm going and all that, and then they're on Facebook or Instagram. You know exactly what they're doing, you know. And they
I
just
know.
you know, they're tracking them on your phone. They can tell exactly where you are any time of the, you know. So anyway, yeah. It's
it's crazy. All these conspiracy. I mean, you can catch it from 5G and
yeah. Oh man, all that malarkey. Yeah.
it's madness. But
But
there you
we
go.
survive instead of, you know. Yes.
Yeah, so all we can do is keep on keeping on, I suppose.
Yeah. Exactly, matey.
Try and
Exactly.
keep safe.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you're going to be doing any meet and greets. Well, you're going to be meeting and greeting me, obviously, but I don't know if
Yeah.
you're doing any meet and greets on your tour.
Well, that was the thing, and it was when the first sort of like get like, especially at Derby, do you hug people? Because I'm a hugger, you know. Hey, how you doing? You've got to do the fist thing. What, you know? You know, it's it's that's it. That's what I'm saying. People just don't know how to react, and we'll get there, you know.
Yeah. I mean, we spoke to a few bands, and they're not doing meet and greets.
Right.
You know.
Generally, you know, with FM, you find that we're always out there. We go out by the merch place and we say hello. We're not, you know, you won't find us hiding in the dressing room, you know.
Yeah. But it's basically they just don't want to jeopardize the tours, you know.
Well, that's fair. I get it. Yeah, I totally get it because it doesn't. Be the thing is, you know, it could be just a crew member can do that.
Yeah.
So, you know, we don't know, and you know, you're fighting the odds every time you go out and do a gig, you know, or every time you go out. To be honest, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
you just go down to the local supermarket or whatever and catch it from, you know, the person behind the till. So who knows?
If you're lucky enough.
Yeah. But,
all right then, mate.
Hey, yes. So let's do one more plug for my album.
Go on then.
So the single's out this Friday. It's called After the Rain. It features Mike and Lawrence from Grand Slam. And then the album's out November the 12th, and it's called Adventures in Pepperland by Pepperkid 2. So
have you got like socials for Pepperkid?
Yeah, be all on the socials and everything, you know. And I've got a good press girl on it, and she's so you know, you'll know it's out there and that.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, if you email me your socials for Pepperkid and that, and I'll put him on the link for the video as well.
Yeah, absolutely. You know.
Yeah.
But because Steve started singing a song on it, it's done me a brilliant job, you know. And I say, Jim, I said the first track's called Pepperland, and it's like I've got him. I wanted it to be like Lazy Sunday, you know.
Yeah.
So he's from up north, you know. So I want to try to do the you know. So it's a bit rockney, like as the
yeah.
a rockney kind of a song, you know. So it's that kind of a vibe. It's a bit tongue in cheek. It's a mad album because it's everything coming out of my head, and I'm completely bonkers anyway. So you know, and I guarantee, you know, I don't say people are going to like every single song on the album. I don't expect them to, but they'll find one song that they actually, I like this one, and that's all I care about, you know.
Yeah.
And I don't want people to say, well, hang on, and criticise it and be the chinny chin chin. It's not about that. It's just out there. Just enjoy it. If you don't like it, then throw it in the bin. I don't care, you know.
But
you know, I think you will. So, brilliant.
Cool.
All right, bud. Well, I look forward to seeing you in a few weeks' time, then, mate.
Yeah. Well, drop me a mail.
My emails on it, and we'll keep in touch. Yeah.
Yeah. No worries. And then you can mail me your phone number or whatever if you want, and then let me know when you come in. And
Will do.
Like I said, I'm only around the corner.
We're filming Jim's next single because I played with Jim's band. Just with that quick plug, because that's it's Jim Kirkpatrick band, and we got Leon from Status Quo on the drums, who's blinding, and it's a bluesy album. It's, you know, so he's working on his. He did the Ballad of a Prodigal Son was his last album, and we're working on the next one. And I played a lot of keyboards on the thing and that, and it's great fun to do. It's just something completely different again from FM, you know. So if we're not doing FM, then you might see us out on the road doing this, you know. So,
yeah. All right.
You know, keep your ears open, people.
Yeah. Well, talking about Status Quo, it would have been Rick Parfitt's birthday today.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, we spoke to Rick Parfitt Jr. a few weeks ago.
Oh, right. Yeah. I'm friends with him on the Facebook. I've not actually met him face to face.
Oh, right. Okay.
And of course, again, Jim plays with another, because he plays with everybody. He plays with Rhino, Rhino's Revenge as well.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So yeah.
All right.
Cool. All right,
all right, mate. All right, nice one. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll see you in a few weeks, and we'll we'll do lunch. We'll see. My people will call your people. All right?
Yeah, let's sort it out, man. We'll get it on the go.
Yeah, brilliant.
All right, cool.
All right, buddy.
All right, thanks, mate.
Take care.
All right,
See
bye.
you.
Bye.